Alright, so I got my neck ready to be shaped, and I cut out the profile and drilled all the holes and cut out, routed in the dovetail here, and of course did the fretwork. And now that's all done, and I'm ready to start carving the actual neck. And first what I want to do is make the basic profile on the heel or the body attachment point, and at the second fret, or first, a little bit further down, so the second fret will be good. And then shaping the basic neck, and I'll leave it a little bit thicker in the end than he wants to, because I'm gonna send it to him, and he's gonna double check if he likes the neck and send it back so I can finish it. Yeah, here we go. So before I start to work this area, I'm gonna use some tape to protect the surface, because I don't want to work that, and it's always good to be on the safe side. So I put like 2 layers of tape on there, and then start with the see there, I almost slipped and got into the area. Actually, what I also want to do is to protect the fretboard edge, so I don't want to really work on that. So, and if I slip, I don't want to hit the frets. And to check the contour of the neck, I'm using this this tool right here, and you can basically press down these pins, and you can read the contour. And as you know, that I'll have to work more this area, and this seems almost good. And a little bit more here. And we are at 27 millimeters, so still 2 millimeters left, and it's good for now. And now I'm gonna do the other side. and here we got like 22 millimeters, so also 2 millimeters are left. And now we need to remove, basically connect these two lines. So remove this material here. So to remove the middle part, I'm gonna try to use this mini lathe kind of thing. I don't know what it's called in English, but yeah, basically what you do is you can pull it like this. Actually, there's ones that have like a flat plane, and these are much better. And this like for round concave shaping, and but it still kind of works. It's like difficult to get the right angle, so it's actually removing anything and then not kind of tipping away. So. Okay, I think I will continue with the rest now, because yeah, it's working, but it's really hard on this curly maple as well. It kind of gets stuck all the time, bouncing, and yeah, so back to the rest. Always check if you got like a straight neck. It's a little bit of a high point in the middle. And I'm using the rasp like in this in like an angle, and you're gonna have like much more contact like from here to here, and it's making it easier to create like a straight line, as if you would use it like this. I'm gonna check the contour again. Yeah, it's quite round. It's like perfect C shape, but we want a V shape. So yeah, I'll need to work more here, and then I'm gonna basically only sand the sides and make this V shape. Also a very useful tool is to have like a plywood board and put some sandpaper on it, and that's gonna make you like a real nice and flat and straight neck. It's also relatively fast, so not much slower than right. And I'm using it like this to get like a real nice round shape. That was the truss rod. Now we got a quite flat C shape, and now I only need to work on the edges. So what I also like to do at this point is take some of like just sandpaper, and it's better you have like the one that's put on fabric, and then you kind of use it like this, and then it makes like a real nice round shape. And I'm gonna be just going over the sides as well, and maybe in the end like a little bit over everything, so I get more of that V shape. And always kind of get a feel for it, and maybe take it out and have a feel and see how it feels, and I like it already, but I think it could have more of a V up here, but I'm going to address that when I'm doing the headstock part. So yeah, so far so good. And I think it's still a little bit thick, like 1.5 millimeters, but yeah, better too thick than too thin. I'll check again if it's straight. Looks good. Yeah, a little bit more on the back and the front, but I think I'll keep it like this and continue with the headstock. Okay, so for the headstock I want to first work this part away and keep a little bit of a high point here and kind of let it move right into the V shape. and also take the area away here and back here, and then maybe start working the front. And I always like to work a little bit back and forth and yeah, see how the shape is taking me. And yeah. I also like to use this file. I think it's called Iwasaki file or something, and there's like a lot of small rasps in there, or small, it's like a small rasp plane, so to speak, and it makes a really nice surface. And it works quite fast, and it's nice to see that in between the rasp and the sanding, to have like an almost finished surface. Now I'll do the inside, and then there's gonna be like a little bit of a curve on here, and yeah, the main thing is that I have like this line in the end that's looking like nice to the other lines and have like nice proportions and everything. So I want to put like a little bit of a roundness on here, and then basically have like those edges and work them back and forth. Also I let this headstock piece, it's quite thick, so probably I'll thin it down a little bit, but I'll see. So the backside is taking shape, and at this point I'm gonna use this piece of plywood, and there's some cork in between the plywood and the sandpaper, and that's gonna make like a straight but not so straight, like a little bit curved shape, and it's nice to make these curved shapes here. And I want to get like clear lines now, and then work the front side, and then maybe go back and forth and for the final design. Okay, I will leave it like that and start with the front. So first I'm gonna remove the main material here and a little bit here, and then work on the line that goes like this. And I've never done like a fan fret design, and I need to figure it out a little bit, but yeah, that's always what I do first. we are getting there. I've got the headstock almost finished. Of course later I'm gonna sand it like real good and oil it and everything, but for now it's good. And now just left is the heel, and basically I need to bring this all together and work out a little bit of the material here. And I've taped up the dovetail already, so I don't want to touch that. And I'll see what I do here, probably just a slight rounding, and yeah. So I'll start with the chisel, get off the edge here. Yeah, you can see, gotta be really careful with the curling maple, it rips off quite easily. So next thing to do is to put in the side rods. So I'm gonna use those 2mm permut dots, and first I gotta drill the holes for it, and then I measure the distance from the middle of the fret to the middle of the fret, and it's like 32, so I need 16, and that's here. And then I eyeball the middle of the fretboard with, and there we got. And I just mark it here, so later when I drill a hole I get like exact position. 9, 10, 11, and then number 12. It's like 20mm distance, so I like to go 5 from there and 5 from there. And now I'm gonna take those dots and I'm gonna glue them in using this fish glue. So fish glue is like hide glue, so it's made out of fish bone, I guess, and it doesn't smell that bad. But the nice thing is you don't have to mix it up. It comes in a bottle and you can wash away the excess later. And it's a very versatile glue, and I like the viscosity. Okay, so I put it in with those tweeters and take the backside to get them in flush, and then you can just wipe away the excess, and it's much easier or much more workable than, for example, super glue, because super glue you can't, or you don't want to touch, because it's like very you don't want to have it on your hands, and the fish glue you can just wipe off later with some water. And sometimes I kind of look at it and decide which side reflects the light better. There's oftentimes quite a difference. The last one. Okay. Now I let it dry and remove the excess with some wet cloth. Okay, seems good. Okay, so the neck is now sanded. I sanded it quite high to like 320, and now I'm gonna use a wet piece of cloth to make it wet, and this will erase the fibers, and then when it's dried I can sand it again, and this will basically make the profiling much faster, and yeah, will give a much smoother surface. Also the curl, you can see it's gonna be much more intense when I do the wet sanding, so it has a lot of advantages. I would always do it. Just need to be careful to not make it too wet, especially at the end grain. It soaks up quite deep, and yeah, just as much as you need. I'll do the fretboard too. I've already did it on the fretboard before, but yeah, there seemed to be some dust on there. Just want to clean it. And you can see it's drying quite quickly. And yeah, you can see the curl and where the fibers are basically perpendicular to the surface, soaking up much deeper, and it's gonna take much longer to dry. Now the wood has dried, and as you go over it, it feels quite rough, and you feel like the fiber sticking out. And I'm gonna use this abrasive pad, and it's like 600 grit, and it's really sharp. You basically just cut off the fibers that are standing out. Okay, and now that, because it was so much fun, I'll do it again. And after that I'll sand it again, and then it will be ready for some oil. Okay, it's dried now again, and as you feel over it, it's still still feel some fibers, so gonna sand it again. And basically you repeat the process until no more fibers are coming out. And you want to really gently touch it with the sandpaper so you don't press the fibers down again. So just cut them off as they stand out. Okay, I think it's good now, and I can start putting on some oil. And that's like the good part with the French polish. You can oil the wood, and you wouldn't be able to do this with a normal finish, because this normal finish wouldn't stick on oil, and with the French polish it's not the case. And also it basically it even helps to fill like the pores a little bit and make the surface a good foundation for the polish. So I think that's good now. And I still can of course sand it if I find some scratches after the oil. And sometimes you kind of see some scratches only until you oil it. So now for the fun part, I'm gonna oil it, and I'm gonna use this linseed oil. It says like double boiled linseed oil, and the boiling basically makes it so it's hardening faster. And I just take a little bit and put it everywhere. I have taped the area which I'm gonna glue later, and I'm also gonna put on the fretboard. It's also really good for fretboard protection. It's much better than the lemon oil, I think, because it really gives some protection and hardens the surface. So I'm pretty generous with the oil, and I'm gonna take away the excess later. You really see the flame coming out, and I think it's much more intense and much more depth into it, and when you use oil, and I think that's one part why French polish looks so good. It's because you can put on the oil first. I put some on the fretboard as well. And as it dries, kind of work it a little bit so it gets in every pore. And then I wait like 5 minutes and take off the excess. Okay, so you really see the curl going on, and it's a pretty nice piece of wood. It's really deep looking curl, and yeah, the oil helps with that too. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Also the fretboard is quite nice. Quite nice plum. It's looking like copper and with some purple stripes in it. And yeah, I'll just let it dry and then rub it off with some like a paper towel. And then we can start French polishing.